Welcome to Evening Stables at Gemma Tussey Racing. We're a brand new operation launching this month, taking over from Mother Karen. I've quit the saddle and I'm trying my hand at racehorse training this season. Got lots of new faces for this year and lovely spread of horses, and can't wait to get going for the season ahead. This is Strawman, last year's stable star. He's 3 from 4 since joining us here. He won first time out at Beverley, followed up at Carlisle Ladies Night, and then his third win was at Ripon. He then went on to the Sunday Series at Haydock, where he finished second by half a length. We're really looking forward to seeing him on the track this year. We might see a step up in trip from him, and excited for what lays ahead for him this year.
Morning, go racing in Yorkshire. So our chosen horse is called Spice Store. She was bought from the December mare sale. She was bought very cheaply. She was the 10th lot through, and her pedigree here is fairly decent for a Easterby horse. Night Incarnation. If we go to the racing post now, you can see she won as a 2-year-old over a sprint distance. Won at York as a 3-year-old over a sprint distance, and a Group 3 at Sandown, and then finished second in a Group 1 the last race of her career. She has bred a few distance horses, but also a sprinter. We've bought her, and if you can look at her form so far, Mr. Balding spent a lot of time running over 1 mile and 7 furlongs. So we're going to try and drop her back to sprint distances, and hopefully that'll give us a bit of an edge, and that's why we've chosen her to be our horse to follow. Okay, so here we're at the top of the gallop. Unfortunately, the gallop is 1 mile long, so we can't get the whole of the filming in from top to bottom. But here's Spice Store finishing off her canter. Caroline Bartram, our assistant, riding her. Oh, she's having a little spook and a look at us. She doesn't normally get to see us here. Right, and we're back in the top yard, and what we need to have a close look at is 2 things. One, what do you call this contraption, Caroline?
In the fashion of a Monty Roberts head collar.
Okay, and so this loop here applies pressure on the poll and around the nose at the same time, and just gets the horse to go where you want it to go. So the reason we had to do all this, because this young lady, unfortunately, if you can see there, has got a bit of damage to her left eye. And yeah, because of that, she just gets a little bit spooked now and again. So we give her the lead horse and the lead rein to just give her some confidence, and it's worked really well. So hopefully you'll all agree, and hopefully I'm right, that is a sprinting backside.
Running wild. He did really well last year, so we've got high hopes from this year to improve a little bit further. He's a sprinter. He won twice over 6 furlongs at Redcar with David Allen on, and then again at Carlisle. He won very nicely there too, and we got high hopes for him, so a bit of fun this year. And this year he did really well last year. He's called Master Richard, and he won at Kempton over 1 mile at the back end. He's just 3 this year, so he's rated 74, and we're hoping he'll train on and do the other season.
So we've been asked to nominate a couple of horses to look out for this summer on the Yorkshire tracks. It's the first horse we've chosen, a 3-year-old called Flash the Dash. She's owned by Cliff Stud. We serve most lovely players over at Helmsley there. He's a colt that had a good 2-year career. He won nicely on his second start at Newcastle. He was then a very good second at York, and then bizarrely unseated his rider in a listed race at Pontefract. You feel he's a horse that's done really well physically over the winter, and we're looking forward to him running the nice handicaps on the Yorkshire tracks, places like York and Thirsk and the big meetings there. We hope to be there and having some success. So the second horse we've chosen is a horse called Quest for Fun, and he missed all last year. He had a slight setback, and he's owned by Elwick Stud, who are great with the horses, always give them lots of time and have plenty of patience with them. So he missed the whole season, but he's come back, he looks great. He's run 3 times, he's rated 79. On his last start, he was narrowly beaten by a horse called Whitley Woods, who's been in great form over the winter and now has a decent rating. And he's a horse we're very much looking forward to seeing more of. He's just starting fast work. We feel he's a horse who could win a novice easily enough and then go on running the better old horse sprint handicaps. So very much looking forward to him as well, and hope he can give his owner some deserved success, having been nice and patient with him. I think it's a wonderful concept, and it's going to create lots of interest in the 18 months ahead. I'm not sure we have a horse I particularly identify for it. I think it's the sort of situation where possibly as time goes on you might sort of think, oh, he's won at 2 or 3 tracks, let's have a look, see what we can do elsewhere with him. It's going to of course be tremendously difficult, but anything with that sort of financial reward is, and I think it's a great talking point for everyone, and we hope that it generates a lot of interest, and go racing in Yorkshire, and McIver's get plenty of engineer plenty of talk and conversation, and hopefully it finds a worthy winner.
With the new flat season just around the corner, the team at David O'Mara's are really looking forward to the year ahead. We're delighted with the group of horses that we've got to campaign, particularly around the Yorkshire tracks, and we're hoping that we can knock in plenty of winners at our local venues. Let's start with one who we think could do really well, and that is Alligator Alley, a smart 2-year-old for Joseph O'Brien a couple of years ago. He was second in a Molecombe at Goodwood and went on to win a listed race at York very easily. He missed last season with an injury, but still possesses plenty of speed. He's back in full work, doing really well, and he'll be aimed at some good sprint handicaps at York through the early part of the season before hopefully progressing a little bit further into the late summer and early autumn. A speedy horse. We're really excited about the year ahead for him. Another horse who we think could do well is the imposing son of New Approach, King's Crusader, who made a pleasing debut at Redcar when finishing 3rd last season and has since developed into a really strong forward-going horse. He's always looked the type to do better as a 3-year-old, and we think he could progress nicely through this season in the colours of Beverley-based owner Sarah Holtby.
Yeah, 2 horses to follow, a horse called Hartswood. He's officially rated 94, which is back down to his last winning rating. He's a horse that he's always been very immature. He's a 5-year-old now. I'm hoping he gets a bit stronger. He has some solid form and some ordinary form, but this year I've decided not to get him ready for the Lincoln and just train him for some of the less competitive handicaps. So hopefully he can come good. And also Furzig had a very busy season last year. He was running on the all-weather and then carried on into the grass. He carries a lot lower rating on the grass than he does on the all-weather. We've decided to give the all-weather a miss. But both horses are very capable and should be winning on the Yorkshire tracks.
Hi there, we're really looking forward to the start of the flat season here at Mowbray. This morning I'm riding Baddery. He's an ex-Charlie Hills horse. He's been a decent sprinter on his day, and we're hoping after a long layoff we'll be running him in some of the better sprints this year. This is Embo. He won first time out last year at Redcar. This season his first run will be at Pontefract. This is Swiss Ace. He's ex-Aidan O'Brien. He's had one run for us last year at the end of the year, October, bad draw, probably ground didn't suit. We're hoping he gets his mojo back this year and wins us some races in Yorkshire.
He's just one smooth operator. He's done nothing to improve since he's come here as well. We tried him over 2 miles, he just got beat at short head last time. Long term, is a Northumberland plate. He's now rated 91. Probably have to get up to 95 to get in, but I don't think that'll be a problem. He's a horse that travels really well, plenty of gears. We really like him a lot. So hopefully he can go to Newcastle this year and probably end up at York. Never ran on grass yet, but we've worked him on grass and he works really well, so I don't think it'll be a problem. This is Tashkan, probably the most improved horse last year. It started off in 50 plus, now he's rated 116. Ran and never stopped improving last year. Targets this year will be Cigario Stakes, Axel Gold Cup, and obviously the big races at the end of the year. Loves a bit of juice in the ground, very tough, hard as nails, and hopefully you can pick a big one up this year. Yeah, this is a great incentive, this scheme. It's going to be very difficult, time winning 9 tracks. Personally, I think you need a horse that can do 2 jobs. It's going to be well handicapped to start with, and then obviously to be well handicapped, and then you've got to go to York, so therefore you have to get up high enough to go to York. The other 3 tracks I looked at, Doncaster, Catterick and Wetherby, which are also jumping tracks. So if you have a dual purpose horse, you've got a chance. So hopefully it'd be nice to see somebody win it. But my personal feeling that you probably need more of a staying horse to win it.
So this is another horse of mine to follow. He's called Politics. He's a nice horse. He's rated 82 or 3, and we bought him in July last year. He's done okay. He's been placed for us, but I think he can have a good year this year. I think we learned plenty about him last year. He seems to be much stronger and sort of over bits of niggles that he had. So I'm hoping, like I say, he can be a bit of fun this year. And like I say, there'll be plenty of 6 furlong opportunities for him. Like I say, hopefully he'll be good playing.
This is Cockalorum. He won a couple of races last year. He generally runs over a mile to a mile 4, and he was second in the John Smith Cup last year. Our aim this year for him is to have another go at the John Smith Cup and hopefully do one better this year and win it. This is Mary's Diamond. He has spent a stint out in Dubai this winter for us and has run a couple of good races. Our aim with him is to head to the Spielberg Stakes at York.
Right, a couple of horses to follow for the flat season coming up. on the Yorkshire tracks. I would say it was a nice horse we have called Matisse. He was second at York last year. Really nice horse by Matt Moo, who we think is going to be a really good sire one day. He's back standing at Bearstone Stud, and we're really rating. He only had about 7 foals and some really good horses for his first 7 foals. So that's Matisse. He'll be running in a couple of maidens, and then he might go for a couple of nice handicaps at York this summer. And then the next one I was going to put into the Yorkshire track would be Garden Oasis. He's a lovely horse. He's won at York and Ripon, and he really does run really well during the summer, and he's still off a mark I think he can win off. So that's 2 of the horses. The Yorkshire Wonder Horse, I think, will be a very interesting project for the summer months. We have a horse called Bolin Neal. He could be one of those horses that could be going for something like that, but it's going to be a really tricky sort of a thing to do. I think it'd be a fairly big price that one will win it, but anyway, be interesting.
Good morning, Go Racing in Yorkshire. Here we have Meekie Racing's Yorkshire Wonder Horse for the year. I think to win the money, you're going to have a very versatile horse, either a group horse masquerading as a handicapper, or a lowly rated horse that will run both over fences and on the flat, and you'll have a bit of a dual purpose prospect. So here we have Monticello, once rated in the 90s on the flat, came to us as an older horse. He's now rated 67, and we think he's got plenty of improvement in him and hope to have a fun couple of years trying to win the prize. Behind us, as you can see in the field, we've got Billy Wedge and Gold Ring, 2 other horses that we've got in training that would be lowly rated and hopefully win a few. Whether they can win 9 at all Yorkshire tracks is another challenge, but we're welcome to give it a go.